Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I am filming this on the first day of spring and it is very nice and sunny outside. I always have to giggle that the first day of spring is in March because where I live, March is still very much not a springtime month, but I recognize that it is for a whole lot of people. And so even though it doesn't feel like spring where I am, I do tend to start wearing springtime colors in March. I'm talking the soft peaches and the soft corals, the lilacs and lavenders, and of course the pinks. And for some reason in the spring, when it comes to things like blush, I also like more of like the watercolor look. Nothing too stark, something that's just very soft and well blended and just in general soft tones. Let me know down in the comments if that's kind of how you like to wear your makeup in the spring as well. So this video is going to be all about 5 lipsticks and 5 blushes that I like to reach for this time of year. I must admit, limiting it to just 5 blushes was really hard for me. A lot of my blushes are shades that I would definitely call springtime shades. And I just realized looking that I actually have 6 here. Oops. Shall we start with blush? Since I obviously can't get enough of blush. So this color of blush, this is like a nudie pink beige blush. This is the color I want to wear all the time in the spring, and I have a lot of blushes that are this color. So this is why I had such a hard time at narrowing it down. But I decided to just pick my favorite one of the whole bunch, and it's this one from MAC. So this is the Glow Play blush in the shade So Natural. It is what I'm wearing. So part of what makes this blush so nice is that even though it does have a slight pearl to it, it actually looks blurring on my cheeks. It has a it just looks so soft. And I know it looks so very boring here in the pan, but I have seen a number of people with different skin tones wear this blush and everyone likes it. So it's not just me. I mean, you can see it here on my cheek, but I'm going to give you a swatch as well. So it is a beautiful soft matte with a little bit of pearl. If you like a natural looking blush, gotta be one of the best ones. This is a good one too if you're trying to avoid a dewy blush, because this one is not dewy at all. But however, if you are looking for a more dewy looking blush, I really love this one from Profusion. I think I might have mentioned this last year when I did this video as well. I'm gonna quick shake it up a little bit. So these blushes have been out for a long time. I recently saw someone using it in like a new drugstore makeup video and I'm like, that's not new, that's been out for a really long time. But I was really happy they were talking about it because I feel like more people need to know about this. So again, it's from Profusion. This is the Blush Hour Soft Matte Liquid Blush. So I know it says soft matte and it does dry down to be soft matte, but there's something about it that looks so juicy on the skin. So this is the shade Rosé, and I have a hard time figuring out what shade is this blush. Is it peach? Is it pink? Is it a soft coral? Maybe it depends on your skin tone and how it pulls on you. On me, it's more peachy, but it being a liquid blush, it just has that much more of a dewy look to it, even though it does dry down to be matte. This particular shade is really good at that whole watercolor look. It's really buildable, not too pigmented. So if you're really just looking for that soft kiss of color, this is a really good choice. It does have different packaging. It has like this little sponge tip applicator. In order to get it on the applicator, you have to shake it up. I found mine at Walmart. I went looking the other day and I saw that they were still there, which made me so happy. Now, as for soft corals, this is where I could not make a decision between 2, so I ended up with 6 blushes. So I'll give you 2 options for a beautiful soft coral blush. The first one is from Essence. So this is from the Pure Nude Baked Blush line. This is the shade Cool Coral. I do tend to be pretty careful with corals. Sometimes they can give me that sick flushed sick flush look versus an actual happy, flushed, healthy look. This is one of the good shades of coral, in my opinion, that I can wear on my skin tone. So it does have a little bit of pearl to it, but it's a beautiful baked formula, and it's not an intense color. Very beautiful and soft. Oh, that is so stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Very easy formula to put on. Every time I wear it, I'm happy and just very, very pleased. It's just such a good color. I had to mention that one. And the other coral blush I want to mention is this one from Natasha Denona. So this is the shade Darya. This might be another one that maybe like a different color depending on your skin tone on you. I know on some people it might look more peachy. On me, I definitely put it into like the coral category. But this is another one of those blushes that isn't super pigmented. It's very buildable and extraordinarily just easy to blend out, easy to use. And this is it, since it is a liquid blush, it will give you more of the dewy effect as well, even though it doesn't like stay sticky. It dries down. And it's just another one of those coral shades that I can pull off. And when I'm looking for that really soft, youthful flush, honestly, this is one of the first ones I think of just because it is so buildable. And I know that I won't get too much of this when I use it. I think last time I looked, this was not on Sephora's website, but it was still on Natasha Denona's website. So it might be in a few different places. I'll make sure and try and find and link it to where you can still find it. Okay, but maybe you're like, this is the season where I like to go for a bright pop of like pink. There's so much bright pink blush out there right now. People have discovered how youthful and fresh it is and how pretty and how you can bring it up under the eye. I love doing that. This option I have for you may not get mentioned as often. So this is the Jelly Dough blusher from Holika. So this is a squishy type formula, just like the MAC Glow Play blushes. It comes with this adorable little puff and this little protector here. So the puff is actually very handy to get that incredibly thin watercolor look with this type of blush. You can just use your fingers or, you know, a stipple brush or whatever as well, but there's something about using it with this. It spreads it out so thinly on the skin. It always sounds so weird. It spreads it out so thinly. I'm gonna try and do it over here so that hopefully you can see what I mean. Ooh, see how soft that is? And the blush by no means is lacking pigment. You could really build it up to be a bright pop of pink. But using this, I just really love how it builds so softly. Oh, it is so brightening and pretty. When I've worn this, I have paired it with other blushes, and I tended to put this one more on like the apple of my cheeks and kind of up under my eye, and then maybe a darker blush back here for a little bit more of a, I don't know, ombre look. I don't know. It was very gentle looking, even though I was using two different blushes. It's not something you would really notice, but I really like doing that with this particular shade. Definitely not a color for the faint of heart, but I do encourage you to try it, especially if you have fair skin but with cool undertones. This is going to be your color. Okay, one more. I have to talk about this one from Honest Beauty. This is a stunning shade. So this is the cream cheek and lip color in the shade Lush Lilac. Check out that color. Wow. Talk about, again, another color not for the faint of heart. So this one is very pigmented. When I use it, I like barely put my finger in there. I get that much, and that's basically where I start. But I'm gonna give you a decent swatch here. So this color, wow, this is such a fun shade to play with. When I wear it and I wear it sheared out, it actually looks more like a soft berry. Even though, you know, we're talking about more warm tones over here, these cool tones are definitely still speak to me in the springtime. I wear a lot of cool toned blush in the winter, and I'm not quite ready to be done with cool toned blush in the spring. So these colors are like the perfect way to bring in cool toned blushes in the springtime. Soft pinks and a beautiful Lush Lilac. I know lilac blushes like this are popular in K-beauty as well. I think one of the first people, or the first brands I saw do a lilac blush was from M Cosmetics. They have some serum drops that are this color. So, you know, there's lots of options out there if you're looking for this particular color. This particular formula from Honest Beauty is really pigmented, so that can be a little bit intimidating, but I have this formula in several different shades now, and I have to tell you, it's just a really, really good standard cream blush. By saying standard, I don't want to make it sound like it's just okay. I just mean, I feel like I compare a lot of blushes to this formula. The way that it melts into the skin, the way it stays for a really long time, and how thinly, again, I talk about thin makeup. I don't like the look of thick, crusty makeup. I really like a thin formula. The way that these spread across the cheeks, it's just a really, really good formula. Okay, so those were the blushes. Let's talk about lipsticks. Let's start with the lipstick that I'm currently wearing. So this is from Ravie Beauty, which if you haven't heard of Ravie Beauty, this is Ali Glein's new brand. So far, they've only come out with lipsticks, but she has stated there's definitely more things coming. So exciting, but I love this. So this is the shade Lily, and this formula is called the Effortless Lips. So it comes in a very slim bullet, and this is like one of those very popular balmy type lipsticks. What's nice about this one is it's not too peachy. Even though it's a peachy pink, not too peachy. Sometimes lipsticks on me that are too peachy can just make my lips look really yellow. It's just not a good look. This one is very natural looking, very flattering, and it doesn't get goopy. Again, it has a nice thin formula. It doesn't build up too much. So you can build up the color, but it won't make it look gross. It also has a very pleasant vanilla scent, which I always try to mention if there's a scent, because I'm someone who can be very sensitive to things like peppermint and things. So I appreciate when people mention scents. It's just a very, very slight vanilla scent. Ooh, we should probably do some swatches on this side so you guys can see. Very beautiful sheer peachy pink. Or pinky peach, whatever you want to call that. Okay, now I know this next one is polarizing because of the scent. It does have that classic kind of L'Oreal scent, but this is the Glow Paradise Balm in Lipstick in the shade Nude Heaven. I don't know if I could find a nude lipstick that is more perfect than this. I mean, that's saying a lot, but every time I wear it, that's exactly what I think. So this is another one of those formulas that is very balmy. You can see it's a little bit more pigmented than the one from Ravie, and probably a little bit more pink. Yeah, Ravie is more peachy. This one has more pink in it. So if you don't mind the kind of florally scent, I think this formula is so pleasant. And I have had to keep myself from going and buying all the colors. I don't need all the colors, but I admit I want them. You can see I'm kind of on a theme here. I wear a lot of peachy pink colors in this spring. I have to mention this one from Revlon. So if you're more of a matte lipstick wearer, this is really nice. So this is the shade 011. The shade Untold Stories. So I first picked this up because a subscriber told me that this shade was very, very similar to Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, which I have Pillow Talk, and in comparing this one to Pillow Talk, it actually is really close, but I think this one is slightly more peachy than Pillow Talk is. So if Pillow Talk is too pink for you, just a little bit too pink, you might like this one from Revlon. And again, it is a very beautiful, soft matte formula, very, very easy everyday shade to wear, and Revlon has a really nice formula. I really like their lip products. I've had this for a while, and if it had a scent, I don't smell anything now. Maybe it's just unscented, which is even better. Another nude that I apparently cannot quit reaching for in the springtime is this one from Bobbi Brown. So this is the shade Sazan Nude. This is the crushed lip color. Wow, I definitely have a color story going on here, but this one is another balmy sheer lipstick. And I know they all look pretty similar, but they're not, okay? They've got nuances and they're all different. I've always thought that Bobbi Brown lipsticks had a different smell to them, just slightly odd, but I seem to be the only one of that opinion. In any case, I can get over it. I think the color is beautiful. Another very easy everyday shade to wear. For the last one, I wanted to pick something that was more pink. So this is actually relatively new to my collection. This is a K-beauty brand. This is from Naming, and this is the Dewy Lip Balm in the shade Tinted Pink. So the formula of this is really, really comfortable. It's another, you know, melty, glossy lip balm type thing. Out of all of them, this might be the balmiest. You can see it has a very slight pink tint to it. I do think it has a tiny little bit of like that pH color changing in it, which normally those sorts of things I stay away from because I feel like they can just be so hot pink and strange looking. But it seems like there's just a little bit of it in this, and just that little bit of that bright pink. Again, it's a very youthful color. It seems to just wakes up the whole face. And I think the formula is so nice. Let's see, I don't think it has a scent. I don't smell anything. And in a world that seems to be awash in plumping products, it's very, very nice to find products that are just plain nice and hydrating and balmy. So there you have it, some of my favorite spring blushes and lipsticks. I'm always so interested to hear what you guys like to wear. I get some of the best recommendations from you. So please let me know down in the comments, what do you like to wear in the springtime? If you've tried any of the products that I mentioned, what do you think of them? Thank you for watching to the end of the video. You get to hear about the tea of the day. Since this is a springtime video, I decided to go for a very springtime-esque tea. So apologies, first of all, if you speak Japanese, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but this is the Sakura Rokucha tea. So this has sakura leaf, sakura flower, as well as sencha and kukicha tea. So essentially it's green tea, but with sakura flowers. I'm always kind of leery when trying a floral tea I've never tried before. I generally like floral teas, but not always. And I find that this one's actually really, really pleasant. It's not too floral. It has kind of a floral, very, very slight floral aftertaste. That's delightful. This is really easy to drink. Sometimes teas, you take a drink and you're kind of like, that's interesting. This is one of those where I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to drink the whole thing right now. And as always, I'll make sure and have it linked down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys very soon in my next video. Bye.